Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this gift set. It's 4 cards, 4 envelopes, all made using the Pampered Pets Designer Series paper and the Playful Pets stamp sets. All the links to all the products will be directly under the YouTube video and they'll also be in the accompanying blog post. Now, when I thought up this idea, I was originally going to use our mini paper pumpkin boxes. And to be honest, I'd not really thought much further than that, and I had every intention of making these cards and these envelopes and decorating that box and putting them in, and that was going to be the project. Halfway through the project, I realised that our mini paper pumpkin boxes don't fit our standard UK A6 or your equivalent A2 cards. They're actually made for our note cards and envelopes. So, although at the beginning of the next part of the video I tell you that I'm going to be using all the elements and tell you that I'm going to be using this, I didn't end up using it. I actually swapped out the box for one of our clear acetate boxes, which are big enough to fit a regular UK A6 card, or in the US your size card equivalent would be an A2. So it's the same project but just using a slightly different box. All the packaging that I kind of had in my mind and the cards themselves are all exactly as I'd thought it out. But anyway, if you want to know how I made this project, keep watching. Okay, so for today's project, I'm going to be using the Playful Pets Designer Series paper, and it's all cat and dog related. It's great. I've used quite a bit of it, but I just thought that this would make a nice gift to start off the new year with, and you could send this to anybody really. You know, send it to any of your friends that are cat and dog lovers, and they're going to have a gift set with some cards in that they can then, you know, send out throughout the year to people, you know, who are also cat and dog lovers, let's say. So the colours in this paper pack are basic black, cinnamon cider, early espresso, flirty flamingo, real red, soft suede and whisper white. So that was kind of where I got my colour scheme from, and I looked in my colour chooser, and this is a free resource on my website. If you go to my website applelover53.co.uk and go to the Stampin Up tab and scroll down through the tab, you'll find a free resources page and you can print these off for free. So I looked at real red because that was one of the colours that I know is in this set, and it says it goes with soft suede, and soft suede obviously is mentioned on the back of the pack. And then I did the same for flirty flamingo, which is also in here. So soft suede's down here in the corner. So you can go, when you've kind of decided on the colours that you want to use, you can go and have a look through this colour chooser and, you know, see what other colours, because in a paper pack, the paper pack will tell you all the colours that are in a pack, but then you might want to see if any of those colours go with something else that you know, already have in your craft supplies. So as I say, that's a free resource on my website. So what I decided to do then was I pulled out soft suede, flirty flamingo and real red. I decided to use soft suede for the base of the card. I'm going to use the real red and flirty flamingo as a matting layer. So they're basically all the items that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be using the ribbon and the braid combo, which is also from this Playful Pets suite. So to save a little bit of time, I've already cut quite a lot of the elements. So I'll show you what I've got and I'll tell you the measurements. So I've cut from the Designer Series paper, I've cut 2 cats with the second size circle, which is the stitched circle, from the stitched shape dies. All the links to all the products will be directly under the YouTube video, but also directly under the YouTube video is a link to my website and blog, and there'll be an accompanying blog post for this project. So if you just look for the picture of this project on my blog, all the products will be listed there with links taking you directly to my online Stampin' Up shop. So I've cut 2 cats and 2 dogs from the designer series paper, and then I've also cut 2 real red circles and 2 flirty flamingo circles, which are slightly bigger than the designer series paper. Now I've cut mine with the ScanNCut, but again you could use the nesting dies that are within this set. It's entirely up to you. So I've got 2 real red, which I think I'm going to use for the dogs, and I've got 2 flirty flamingos, which I'm going to be using for the cats, I think. And then I've cut 2 spares because I want to decorate my box. Then I've got 5 pieces of Whisper White cardstock, which is 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. I've had to put the measurements on because I'll never remember them. And I've run these through the Subtles embossing folder, which is a 3D folder. So they've just got a lovely, it is very subtle. I'm not sure how well you're actually going to see this on the camera. So I've got those. And then I've got some more Whisper White pieces, which are 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. And I've got some real red and flirty flamingo, which are the same size, 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. I've got 4 envelopes. And then I've got 2 pieces of the soft suede card, which I cut in half across the short side. I've scored and folded, and these are going to make my base cards. So I think I've got all the elements. So it's just a case now of starting to assemble. So I'm going to start off by taking one of the pieces of Whisper White that's gone through the Subtles embossing folder, and I'm going to stick that to the front of a piece of real red. I'm just going to use some wet glue. You could use our, stamping seal. It's entirely up to you. But this has got a bit of it's been embossed. So I just want to make sure that it is going to fully stick. And then I'm just trying to centralise that white embossed piece as best I can on this piece of card. I'm going to get one of my dogs and I'm going to stick that to one of my red circles. And again, just because I've got the wet glue handy, I'm going to use the wet glue. And again, I'm just going to try and sit it centrally. Then I'm going to bring in the ribbon and the baker's twine, which is part of this kit. And I'm going to wrap it round the card together and just tie it in a bow or a knot, whatever I can get done really. So let's just see how we go with this. I'm just tying both at the same time, hopefully. And then I'm just going to pull the ends just to make these a bit smaller. Just going to trim the ends just so they're not too long. And then just decide where I want them. Do I want them, over to one side? Maybe spread them out a little bit. And see how that's looking. I might take them up a little bit so that I can put that there, and then I could maybe stamp my greeting down here. So I did forget to tell you that I'm actually using the Pampered Pets stamp set as well. And you've got enjoy, you've got always in your heart, so sorry for your loss, I hope your day is a real treat, and then you've got a few extra little elements that you can decorate your envelope or the inside of your card with. So I think I'll use always in your heart and so sorry for your loss on one, and I hope your day is a real treat on the other. And then that way, you know, they could just send the cards to somebody that's a cat or a dog lover, but they could equally also send a card if somebody has, you know, had a cat or a dog that has died or something. So I'll probably use both. For the ink, I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to try and stamp. I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to try and stamp directly onto the embossed card. I don't know if this is going to work. I might end up having to put a patch or something over it, but it is only very subtle. So, you know, hopefully it will do. So I'm just going to hold the card down and then just stamp and hold it for a few seconds just to let the ink take on the embossed card. And I think it looks okay. It's maybe a little light in the corner, but that's probably more me not applying the right amount of pressure than, you know, the stamp set. So I'm just going to bring this back in, spread the bow out a little bit. I'm going to pop this up on dimensional, so I'm going to put a dimensional top and bottom, so that way it will kind of straddle the, you know, the thickness of the bow. I've got some black dimensionals here, but only because they're handy. But, you know, I am using dark cards, so that's one of the reasons why we do love our dark dimensionals. And I'm just going to stick that over like so. So that's how it's looking now. And then this is going to go onto the front of the card. So again, I think I'll use the wet glue and stick it flat. And again, just try and position it centrally to the front of the card. Just going to give it a rub from the back. Then I've got this piece of card that's the same as the red matting layer, the same size, and this is going to go inside with the card being dark. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to choose one of the other images. So I'm going to choose the dog. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black again. And I'm just going to stamp the dog in the bottom left hand corner. I'm not going to do him all. I'm going to kind of stamp on and off the card. So it's going to look like that. I'll use some of our dry adhesive on this one. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dry adhesive, which is our stamping seal. Bring my card back in, pop this on the inside so you've got a place to write your message. I'm going to bring in my envelope. Now there's several things you could do. You could use some of your designer series paper to decorate the flap. You could use one of the other smaller images to, you know, stamp the front of your envelope. It's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to use some of the paper. So this is one of the ones with like the bigger dog images, and I think I'm going to put that on the flap. So I'm going to apply some glue all around the edge of this flap, and then I'm just going to kind of butt it up to the paper and rub it down. Then I'm just going to give it a good rub from that side as well, and then I'm just going to take my big scissors and I'm just going to follow the edge of the envelope and just cut round the flap. And obviously, you know, you don't have to do this, but it's just an extra little step, and if you're making a gift, it just makes it look that little bit more special. So there's the front of my envelope, there's the flap, and there's my card. So that's the first card made. So I'm going to do the same with the other one for the dog, but I'll do that off camera to save some time. So now I'm going to bring in the flirty flamingo and I'm going to make one of the cat designs. So again, I've got a piece of the embossed card. Not sure how well my lighting is today in this room. It seems quite bright, but I'm not sure. So, okay, so again, I've got the embossed section. I'm going to use some wet glue. I'm going to stick it down onto the front of this piece of flirty flamingo. Try and centralise it as best I can. I'm going to do the same thing. I know this is real red and black and white, but I'm still going to use the ribbon so that at least it's consistent all the way through. So I'm going to bring in a flirty flamingo circle and I'm going to bring in one of the cats. I think it'll all work together. Just put this on here. So the dogs are going to have the real red base and the cats are going to have the flirty flamingo. And the reason that I did that is because the cats have got elements of flirty flamingo in them and the dogs have got more of the red in them. So again, I'm just going to take my 2 lengths of ribbon and twine and just wrap it round and try and tie a bow or a knot, you know, whatever is easiest. I'm going to go with a bow and see. And again, do the same thing, you know, decide whereabouts you want them on your card, how you want it to look. I think I'll have mine, you know, so they're slightly separated. That's going to go on here again. And then again, I'm going to do the greeting. So I'm just going to push this up out of the way and I'm going to do the same greeting, the same 2 greetings on all 4 cards. So one greeting will say, always in your heart, so sorry for your loss. And the other card will say, I hope your day is a real treat. So just making sure that I've inked this all up again. Press this down, hold it for a few seconds with it being on the embossed card. That one's perfect. See what I did there? Perfect. Just bring this back into place, get some dimensionals on the back of this one again. So I think these are going to make a nice gift for somebody. Now, I want you to tell me in the comments underneath the YouTube video if you're a cat or a dog person, and I'll draw one name at random and I'll send this in the post, but this can only be for UK subscribers, I'm afraid, because the way the postal service is at the moment and the amount it costs to send things out of the UK is a little bit ridiculous. So if you're in the UK, leave me a comment underneath the YouTube video, not in my blog post. It's got to be underneath the YouTube video, and that way I can see how many people have left a comment and I can put the you know, numbers into a generator and draw a name at random. So if you're in the UK, tell me underneath the description of the YouTube video, are you a cat or a dog person? I'll draw a name at the end of January and I'll post the results on my blog, so make sure you are subscribed to my blog as well. And once I post your name, if you get in touch with me within 14 days, if not, the gift will be gifted on to somebody else. So for this one, I'm going to use the cat. Again, I'm just going to pop it down in the bottom corner. This one's a little bit smaller, so I think I might just use the whole image on this one. Pop this inside. And you know, you could mix and match these. You could put a cat on the front, you could put a dog on the inside. It's entirely up to you, really. I'm just, you know, giving you an idea, and you can do whatever you want with it. So that's the cat on the front, the cat on the inside, and then I'm going to bring in an envelope and do the same. So I'll find a piece of paper. This one's got like fur bits on it, so this one will do, because this is on the back side of this cat paper. So I'm going to do the same, just going to put some glue close to the edge of the flap. Just find my big scissors and trim around. So there's that one. So I'll finish the other two, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the box. So I realised when I was halfway through the project that our mini paper pumpkin boxes are too small for our regular A6 or A2 size card. So there's been a slight change of plan. The paper pumpkin boxes actually fit the mini note cards and envelopes. So I'll do another project using that another time. So I'm going to be using our acetate boxes, clear acetate boxes. These are also available in my Stampin' Up shop, and all the links, as I said at the beginning, will be underneath the video. So these come flat, you just pop them together. So I've started to fold it on the score lines. And I'm just going to fold in the flaps, fold in the base, and they're nice strong boxes. These it really is a good quality acetate that we use. So I'm going to bring in the 4 cards and the 4 envelopes. So the 2 dog cards, the 2 cat cards, and the 4 envelopes, which have all been decorated. And then I'm just going to flip these around to get them to sit nice and neatly. Pop them in the acetate box. Okay, so there's my box. So I'm going to make a belly band decoration. So I'm going to get a piece of the designer series paper. I'm going to cut it at about 1.5 inches, and this is also another design from the pack. It's the one with the dogs on. And I'm going to wrap it round so it kind of meets on the front in the middle, like so. And I'm just going to crease the edges, and then I'll burnish them with a bone folder. And doing it this way just saves you having to mess around measuring. I'm just going to fold where I put the creases in, line up the edges so it's nice and square. These would make great gifts to make up for, you know, if you do craft fairs or handmade fairs. You know, if we can start doing that in 2021. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the belly band. And what I might do with this, I might disassemble the box. So for whoever it is that wins it, I might, you know, just disassemble the packaging. It might make it a little bit easier for me to post. I'm not sure. I'll see. Right, so that now slides on and off. I've got my 2 little die cut elements. I've got 2 lengths of the ribbon and the twine, and I'm just going to tie this around the belly band. Tie it in a nice bow. I'm just going to stick this on here. So again, I'm going to put some dimensionals on either side of the ribbon. And that now sits on there. So the belly band slides off, and then you've got the packaging with your 4 cards and your 4 envelopes. So I'll take some close-up pictures and I'll put them all in the blog post. Well, that's today's project. So I hope you like it. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and that you are also subscribed to my blog. So just to remind you, this will be for UK only. Leave me a comment underneath the YouTube video saying whether you're a dog or a cat person, and tell me that you're in the UK, okay? And then I'll collate all the names together. I'll put them in a random generator and I'll draw one person out at the end of January. I'll do a blog post announcing the winner, so that's why you need to be following my blog. And you'll have 14 days to reply to me and give me your address. And if you do that, this will then go in the post to you. If you don't contact me within 14 days of the blog post going live, I will redraw it and give it to somebody else. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you.